Good morning. We'll call this meeting to order at 9:03. And we have everyone in attendance but Dan, and we expect him to join us at some point. We've got item 1, which is approval of today's agenda. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sounds unanimous. Item 2, consent agenda for the meeting minutes for 11/21. We have one small addition, which this pertains to the Sandy's property. We wanted to include the idea that deck railings are required on the lower deck. We just wanted to make that clear. We have no reason to believe you're not going to do that, but we are trying to keep our minutes as clear as possible. So that is an addition to the minutes. Can I get a motion for that, for approval of the minutes with that revision?
I move to approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, I missed who made the motion.
Pat.
Thank you, Patrick.
All opposed? Okay, unanimous. All right, let's go down to item 4, 11A Par Lane. Got 2 items for this property. Did everyone see the photos that that John provided for us when we asked him?
Yes.
Okay. So item 4 is for the actual deck. There, item 5 will be the landscaping. So we'll talk about the deck first. And we did go out and look at this, and
Excuse me. Excuse me, Dan Vink has joined.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, how's everybody?
Good.
Pretty good. We are on item
4.
Great, thank you.
Just started the discussion. Patrick, do you have anything to say about this? You seem to be pretty opinionated about your neighbor.
Well, yeah, but everything looks good. I know he's been working on it, on these plans. And, I made a point that he contacted the ACC for approval on things. He's kind of a rebel in that respect. But
well, if he didn't, he'd have to deal with Alan. So I think he made the right choice. Yeah, we went out and talked to John, and he gave us a good overview of what his plans are for the deck. Anybody have any issues with item 4 and the deck and what his plans are?
I'll move to approve.
Just one quick clarification, Mr. Fuchs. I'm looking at page 8, 9, and 10, where you give examples of the pergola. Do you have you settled on one of those design elements?
We have not.
Okay. It's probably going to be a solid roof, not like on page 9. It's just slats.
Yeah, that would just be the framing. The plan would be to put like a clear polyclear, whatever you call it, on the top.
Okay. Thank you.
So are all of those options part of the motion to the approval?
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. I don't see any that I would have a problem with. I guess I'm wondering if we need, if he diverges from these designs, if we would need another meeting to look at those.
I don't have a problem with as we build the deck and we get the final design for the pergola, I could just resubmit another request for that.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that you'll provide something to us that is acceptable to us. But we do need to just keep track of things in case, we've been surprised before. That's why we're pushing back on that just a little bit. But everything you got here, I think works fine.
Okay.
Hey, John, what is a polyacrylic? Is that for the top of it?
Yeah, it's just like a clear plastic, what they use greenhouses or whatnot.
Is it that kind of corrugated stuff?
No, it'll be flat.
Okay.
Yeah, that would probably be an issue if any kind of corrugated tin roof. We see that occasionally in the neighborhood, which doesn't really work. I like these designs that you showed us, and anything close to that, I think we'd be happy with.
Okay. Well, so I'm cool with submitting another request for the pergola when we get the final design, and then also probably the screen that would be below the deck on Patrick's side, on the north side.
Yeah.
So we haven't decided exactly how we're going to screen that open space yet. So I can submit that request at the same time and keep Patrick
Yeah,
happy.
that would be good. Yeah. That's what we all tried to do.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a pain to do that, but that's what we did.
So that's the only side that you would need to close in?
Probably because the side with the pergola underneath there is probably going to be storage, and I haven't gotten to that request yet. But either way, we could just say open ends of the deck we'll submit for screening at the next time.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I think we have a motion, right?
From Joe Jean.
From Joe Jean. All in favor?
Wait. Is that with those comments?
Yes, the comments would be that he's going to supply us with the final pergola design. And then the second thing is that he's going to supply us with the whatever kind of enclosure.
Screening design. Okay.
Right.
On the Patrick side.
Yeah.
Especially the Patrick side.
All right, that is the motion then. Is that good,
Yep.
Diane?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, unanimous.
Mr. Chair, we have someone who's joined.
All
right. Jules Holder, good morning. Could you unmute and tell us who you are?
Oh, hi. I am Julie Han Holder. I'm here with my partner, Toby Swimmer, as well, and we live at 13 Meadow Court.
Hi, good morning.
All right, we've got you and we'll get to you. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
What item is that for, Diane?
10.
10.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the landscaping portion of this property, which is item 5. It's an exterior alteration request.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to withdraw that right now.
Okay, yeah, well, we talked to you about this and we needed a little bit more information. What you described sounds pretty good. We didn't have any major, any objections really. We just needed a little more clarity just so we are specific about what we're approving and what we're not approving. So we appreciate you meeting with us yesterday or the other day to describe this. So, okay, thank you.
Diane, is that sufficient?
Yep, I'll just withdraw it.
Thank you.
John, were you withdrawing that? You wanted to wait until you have it completed and then bring it back into us?
Yeah, I'm going to get it all done and move like 1,000 yards of topsoil in and cause all kinds of trouble. No, I think it would be best if once we get the deck going and we have a good visual of how we want to finish off that landscape section, then I'll just resubmit another request.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, John. All right, item 6. This was just for the Jeff, is this for the steps that are already existing on the left side of the house?
Yes, but also there's a space like right behind our house that we wanted to put the leftover pavers in.
Okay.
We started using the leftover blocks that we took out from the ditch over there, but when I started doing that and talking to Diane about it, she was like, well, you probably need to do a variance because you're going into the thing. It's just not clear in our rules what the setbacks apply to, because it doesn't really talk about, blocks that you're using. It talks
Yeah,
about
that
structure.
is a good point. We have questioned that on our committee too. What is included in the setback?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our neighbor Daryl, he has like planters that basically go all the way to the edge of the property line.
Yeah.
So there's stuff in the setback there, and there's it's something similar, but it's like a landscape element, a planter and some bushes or whatever. So it's just not clear. But so anyway, I didn't want there to be any, because we've been through some some roller coaster rides so far. I didn't want there to be any confusion or like misinterpretation of what we were doing there. So I thought I would just
we appreciate
submit these. They're functioning. There's two purposes for the stairs. It's obviously holding the dirt in place. There was nothing there before other than weeds. And also it gives us a way to get to the back of the property.
Jeff, do you know when those stairs were constructed?
I mean, I started doing those right when they were doing the other stuff in the front. So, I mean, it would have been like October. I think that's when we started, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay. And
September?
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere around in there.
Okay,
September, October.
It's as built.
Last week of September.
Yeah.
Right. So it's as built. The stairs are. The request is basically something that's already been constructed. Daniel and I were there on Tuesday, and we walked to the back of the property. So the pavers back there, you're gonna have to excavate some dirt to put those pavers in to make it level with the foundation. Is that correct?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I'm not interested in any kind of retaining wall back there. So it may just be that we add a little bit more sand closer to the house where the foundation is exposed. I don't think we would have to do much excavation. And even if it has a slope to it, I don't care.
Your patio might have a slope to it?
No, I mean, if there's a minor, like I don't want to do any excavation or have any need, if there's any, if I'm going to a point where we need to put a retaining wall in there, I'm not going to do that. I only want to put the pavers down.
Well, the way we saw it, and maybe you have a different idea, it looked like if you went from the foundation of the house straight out and a flat patio, you may have to excavate up to 3 feet of soil. And in a retaining wall there, that's not going to be an issue. 3 feet, I think. I don't know if you even want to do that, but I don't know any other way you can do it other than maybe just keep excavating up until there's the grade is not going to be an issue with your patio. So
sure.
you definitely do not want to do a wall, or what?
I mean, we could do one. I just don't want to have to deal with engineering for getting an engineering firm involved.
No, from what John and I saw when we went up there, it looked like it would be just a small wall, just to hold back maybe 1 or 2 feet, maybe 3 feet of dirt.
We certainly have enough leftover blocks to do that. And if it means that we don't go out 8 feet, fine. 6 feet would also be doable. We just want a little space we can use for extra storage of stuff we might be, having on the lawn down in the front, for example, like the kids' little, self-supported treehouse thingy, something like that.
Yeah, and it's in the back there, and it's
nobody sees that.
Pretty well hidden from everybody else. So I I don't have any issue with any of this stuff. I'm trying to figure out which item 7 is for the variance. Let's see. That's just for the stair. That's the variance for the stairs, right? And
Yeah, because we're
item 6 is
going
for
into the,
yeah.
Sorry.
sorry about that. We're going into the, yeah, it calls it the most inopportune times. We're going a little bit into the setback for sure. They're probably a couple feet. But it's three blocks wide, so it's a little under 4 feet in total because they're like 18 inches or something in width. So yeah, there's a little bit into there, and that's what that's for.
So the dimensions you have laid out are, what, 8 by?
That's for the patio or whatever you want to call
patio,
it,
yeah.
area. But the stairs on the side go a couple feet into the
Well, the
allowed.
stairs you're not going to change, right? You're just asking for a variance for that, correct?
No,
Sure. Yeah, we won't change them.
we are not changing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the patio would be 8 by, I'm trying to see what the other dimension is.
Like 25 feet.
25.
This is the width of the garage, basically.
So I think, I guess up to that size, you're saying you may want it smaller. So I guess we could approve up to that size with maybe a retaining wall of 2 feet.
Sure. That's fine.
What do you think, committee?
You're talking about a retaining wall on the hillside, not the house.
Yeah,
side.
if necessary. We're not requiring it, but let your
Yeah.
team
No.
decide what needs to be done. Is it
Either.
No,
because
I
that's
know.
not on the drawing? Is that something the committee feels comfortable with?
We could approve, I think it's a solid plan. We could approve the back patio with the comment that if there's going to be any kind of retaining wall, it's not going to be more than 3 feet, that's for sure. It looks more like 2 feet, just
Yeah.
to hold back a little bit of dirt. If that's the case, then just submit an addendum to say we're putting in a small retaining wall. And I think the committee doesn't have a problem with the stairs and the setback insofar as it was just already built and we didn't really have a voice in this until it's after it's been done. But I think generally this is a good plan.
Okay.
You want to put a motion together to that effect, John?
Sure,
Or
please.
is there any other discussion about this? Okay, John.
Move to approve item 6 Marigold Drive exterior alteration request with the following comment that if there is a small retaining wall at the back of the property on the uphill side of the patio, that they would just simply let us know that that's going in. It's probably going to be around 2 feet, I'm guessing, if that. Is that good enough, Diane?
And wasn't there another comment that it's approved up to 25 feet wide?
Yeah, up to the dimensions that are provided to us in the drawing. Because you may want to make it smaller.
The width of the garage.
Yeah. Or whatever that space is, whatever the drawing indicates.
It's a garage. Yeah. It's like 25 feet, I think, about there.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you want us to let you know about the retaining wall?
You would do an exterior alteration request.
Another one?
Yep. And your letter will tell you that.
Okay.
Just give them a whole stack of those.
You can have a special pile just for us.
Okay, is that motion clear, Diane?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. That was item 6. Item 5 is for the variance for the stairway.
Wait,
and-
item 7.
Item 7.
And you didn't vote on that yet.
We voted on 6, right?
Yeah, but not 7.
Right, correct. Item 7 is the variance, and in my mind, because it's kind of a dead area and nothing really happens there, and it's pretty steep, I'm okay with the variance there. Any other comments on that?
I don't have a problem.
Are you making that motion?
I am making a motion to approve item 7. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. See you next time, Jeff.
You're free.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. There was somebody else, Diane?
Yep. 13 Meadow Court,
Oh,
item
that's
10.
Ju-
Julianne and Toby.
Julianne?
We also have item 3 here, Greg and Paul, Greg and Marcy.
What?
Oh, are they here?
Where are they?
Oh, I thought you said they were here.
No.
Oh, my bad.
13, yeah, 13 Meadow Court. Julianne and Toby. Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Item 10 now?
Yep. Go ahead and unmute, Julianne.
Okay, we're here.
Hi there.
This was a tree.
Correct.
Anybody have any questions or issues?
I'd like to propose a motion.
Do it, John. Do it.
Motion to approve item 10 as submitted, tree vegetation trimming and removal request 13 Meadow Court.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, unanimous. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Julianne and Toby.
Let's go back to the top. Item 3. I think the feeling here was that these were nice, healthy trees. I didn't see any problems with them at all. And they're pretty prominent trees in the neighborhood. I can understand, especially after our windstorm, residents having issues with trees, but we do live in Sudden Valley and we've got trees. But we're not tone deaf to the idea that people are a little bit worried about things. So I think we would like to see an arborist report to indicate the risk factor with these trees. In my mind, and I think in the rest of the committee who looked at these trees, they look pretty healthy. They were big trees, and if they fell over, they could fall into the house. But I've got probably 20 trees that could potentially fall into my house, and I knew that when I moved in here. If there were some dangerous trees, yes, I would probably get those looked at and taken down. But I personally would like to see an arborist report before I had these 3 trees on. But this sounds like a tongue twister. These 3 trees on 20T Place removed.
And just to be clear, we visited that site on Tuesday, and both Greg Paul and Marcy Paul came out and spoke with us, and they seemed very amenable to having an arborist come out that they've used before and assess those trees and provide that report to us. So I have a motion.
Go ahead, John.
Can I have a discussion before we make a motion?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys going out and looking at that, and I guess sort of general discussion around this. A little bit follow up on some of the email chains we had. My concern is that what are we going to do if we get an arborist report that says, yeah, these trees could fall? Because an arborist is going to say, yeah, these trees could fall. They don't want to be the one to put their name and stamp on something that says this tree's never going to fall, and then it falls, and now there's a liability there. So I think, anybody can get an arborist report to say a tree's going to fall. What do we do with that? Like who becomes the deciding factor on, okay, we got an arborist report. The tree's not diseased, but it could fall under the right circumstances. Do we say no to a landowner then? Do we say no to a homeowner?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. What we do, we do get risk assessment numbers when we do get a full arborist report, but to your point, we have never determined which risk factor is the one that we would look at, what would be the determining factor.
Right. I'm almost wondering if we, again, given the unusual circumstances that the community just went through, which is very understandable that people are hypersensitive to the trees. I mean, I've got a couple of ginormous cedar trees that are looming over my house that hanging on the side of a hill. They look healthy, but I look at them and go, wow, should I take that out? Is that going to crush my house one day? Should we put together like a set of easy criteria that we would require an arborist to look at, some standard of criteria that we would have them review. So
Yeah,
that's
have
my
they
thought.
met
Go
our
ahead, 'cause Alan
criteria?
has his hand up too. So
Well, the first, certainly the first criteria is that they are a certified tree risk assessor with the ISA, it's called. And the arborist that they're planning on using is Earthworks, and they are, in fact, a certified tree risk assessor. So that's kind of the baseline. And then as far as, you know, how they assess the tree, they're going to assess it on its health. And they're very interesting criteria that they assess the health of a tree. And so I guess I don't have a clear.
You guys can talk about this like, you know, in a future meeting with an agenda item. I do know that an arborist has come in here and offered to meet with you, but that's up to Daniel how, you know, he would like to approach that.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about that, Diane. That sounds like our committee is very interested in that. Alan, do you have a point?
Yeah, similar to what has been said before, I recently saw an arborist's report that not only gave the health of the tree, but the risk and severity of it falling, and if it fell, how bad is it going to be? I mean, if there's no house around, then even if it falls, not an issue. What I think what John was saying about getting an ISA certified arborist takes us away from an arborist saying, looks good to me, versus a little bit more in-depth detail about the health of the tree, impact, severity, things of that nature.
Yeah, I think these are all good points, and I think, Diane, we probably should meet with this person and determine a criteria for when trees should be cut and when they shouldn't. And you know, a really clear line, so there's no liability on our part, or you know, no question about danger to our neighbors. So let's proceed with that. But can I get a motion for item 3, please?
John had started.
Sure. Any more discussion?
No, but there will be.
Great. And I want to thank Dan Vink for chiming in and giving us some a way forward for some of these trees, which we certainly will see a lot more of. Okay. Item 3, motion to approve item 3.
Approve or deny?
Excuse me. Item 3, motion to deny item 3, 20 T Place, tree vegetation removal, with the comment that they should provide a certified arborist report to us about those 3 trees.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, unanimous.
You know, we just had a storm probably of the decade, and it seemed those trees held up okay. So I don't think they're that much of an issue as far as falling over.
Well, the other thing is, once you cut a few trees down, then the trees next to it that were being shielded by those trees, then they're in danger. So it's like a domino effect.
In that particular property, the neighbors' trees are large enough, and even the trees at the back of their property. So the neighbor on the left and right have trees large enough that if they fell over, they'd hit the 20 tree place. So it's not like removing those trees is going to take all their problems away. It might actually create a problem, as Daniel was saying, because right now all those trees are working together to buffer each other. And when you take the trees away, then they're more prone to falling during wind events and such.
All right, let's move on to item 8. This is a new construction, and we did go out and look at this property. We weren't really clear based on the flagging of the trees and the flagging of the property lines and the house outline, the footprint, it wasn't really clear based on what we saw there. So we still have a lot of questions. One of the questions for me was the trees. Some of them look like they may be on a neighboring property, and because they weren't staked properly, we weren't sure if this was a neighbor's tree. Did we get neighbor's permission? Then there was another tree that was what looked to me to be on the corner of where the house would be, but the tree was not flagged that it would be removed. So there are still a lot of questions just based on our visit of the site.
Well, may I add that the tree design here on page 11, item 8, only shows 2 trees that would be removed, and on site there are probably a dozen trees that have ribbons around them.
Yeah, I think Joel did clarify that in an email that there were 12, but there's still, even beyond that, we have questions because all of the 12, well, there are some that are obviously going to have to come down if this footprint remains as it is. So we have questions about that. I think going forward, what we need is a better staking of the property and the design intentions for this.
Do we have
And
a
because-
representative from this?
Yeah, no, nobody's here today. I think
No,
I think John Gordon was going to be here, but he couldn't make it. Is that correct, Diane?
He had to do another meeting for his company,
Okay.
a conflict.
So yeah, it would be hard for us to approve this without a thorough discussion with John or Joel, especially since we do have some questions on this. And I think it does. This is one of those properties that goes right up to the setback on either side. So that would require a little extra scrutiny on our part. So I'm not sure that we have enough information to approve this at this point. Anybody have any other comments about that?
Daniel, question, the driveway slope is 18%. Do the new driveway slope criteria go into effect January 1?
It does, yes.
So if this is not approved, he's gonna have to modify the driveway slope then also?
Well, there were conflicting numbers on this. I'm seeing is the written piece where the numbers actually written in it says 6%. And I think Joel's summary says 18%. So I'm not sure.
Isn't the new guideline
Just another
20?
question.
The new guideline is 20.
Yeah, so it'd
Oh,
be
I
fine
thought it was-
anyway.
Well, it would be 20, but you would have to rake the finish or do some other mitigating approach to it. It couldn't just be a flat driveway. So we'd need some clarification on that too.
I thought the new driveway was 15%.
It's 20.
I think in the edits, when we were working on the edits for the policies, I think there were some conflicts. I think it ended up being 20. I think my intention was 15, but I think we went to 20 as long as there were some mitigating, we're not just going to approve it because it's 20. I think we need to look at what can be done to it to make it safer and safer. So, and another thing, I think that, we have the discretion at any point to say 18 is too much. And January 1st, it's not like it's going to just suddenly change. We're always concerned about the numbers and how they work with specific properties. Sometimes 18 works fine, sometimes it doesn't.
I'm looking at the new policy,
Yeah,
and it is 15%.
it is 15. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I know there were some conflicting numbers in there. Is it 15, but you can go to 20 if there's a raking or other?
A maximum driveway slope shall not exceed 15%. A maximum driveway slope of up to 20% may be approved dependent on the site if the driveway is grooved or if other measures are taken to ensure that the driveway remains safe. See Appendix A.
Yeah, and I think even now, before those policies come into effect, we have that discretion to determine whether a driveway is safe, and that's always been the case. I think we just want to sort of clarify the kind of things that we're seeing in properties that we would like developers to change a little bit.
Well, I
We're
think
concerned about 25%
on
driveways.
And on the slope, I mean, a 15% slope over a 40-foot linear distance is worse than an 18% slope over a 400-foot linear distance. So, you know, you got 15% like this versus 18% over a longer period. So, I mean, some of these driveways, you're like, I don't even know how the hell they get cars in and out of there. It's like, it just
A lot
goes,
of them, they don't. They park on the street.
it goes straight up for 12 feet. I mean, those are things we need to look at too. So if he's going to go to 18%, we got to see like, what's the runway of the driveway? 18% may not be that bad if it's a longer runway. So.
And also, the driveway wasn't staked out. We couldn't tell where the driveway was.
Well, may I summarize some of our concerns and why I think this should be denied? The first one is very similar to the last one that they submitted during our last meeting, which is the whole property needs to be staked and stringed. The driveway, the porches, the patio, the footprint, the walkways. There's no indication where the corners of the lot is. On the front left corner, there's not even a white stake. The front right corner, there's a white stake, but no pin. So we need the corners pinned and staked. Excuse me, the corners located and stringed. So stake and string the footprint of the house and the driveway and all that business, and then stake and string the corners of the lot. That'll give us a good idea about the setbacks and where the neighbors' trees are and so forth. The other thing is there's no exterior lighting plan. We need an exterior lighting plan. And
they actually did provide us one. We don't have that in our agenda, but Joel said that he did see one. I didn't see it. Obviously, you didn't see it. So this is something that we need to review also.
Right, the committee needs to see that for sure. And then also an updated tree plan. Joel said that you know there are more trees, but the plan that we have right now is completely inadequate in terms of what we saw and what they're requesting.
John, that was well articulated. Can you do it in the form of a motion?
Yes.
Diane, did you get the points there, or?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Okay. Was it clear enough to you, Dan, to vote on that?
Oh yeah, John did a great job.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All in favor?
So excuse me, just to be clear, motion to deny item 8, application for new construction, 34 Morning Glory Drive, Arrow Homes LLC, with those comments that we made earlier.
Yes. Good. All in favor of the denial?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
I'm looking forward to seeing Alan wandering around the neighborhood with a grade level from now on, just checking all these driveways. Once they assign you one of those, I want you to come over and check mine, Alan. I'm always curious what it actually is. So.
I know. I looked at buying one of those, and they're expensive.
Yeah, well, we got friends in high places now, Daniel. We don't need to buy.
I know. Our life is about to change.
Congratulations, Alan, by the way. I think that's an excellent choice. You'll be missed on this group, but
well, I don't think we'll be missing him. He'll be here. I think we'll be seeing a lot. We'll probably see more of him. He's going to give us annoying phone calls all the time.
He's going to get used to a car, so he'll be able to drive us around.
So we have one more, I guess.
2 more, 9 and 11.
9. Okay, 9. All right, let's do 9.
We did not visit this property, but I think the committee, based on the pictures, it indicates that these trees look pretty perilous. You know, the way they, I'm looking at one on page 2, the lower right-hand corner. The tree goes up and then it branches off some number of feet up there. And it looks like a lot of those trees are doing that. So I personally am inclined to approve this. And they do look pretty perilous.
Is that a motion? Any other discussion? I do want to point out that sometimes photos are all we need. You know, it doesn't always have to be an arborist report. If it is that obvious, photos are probably fine.
well, and to me, it's you know, you look at the pictures on page 3 and you can see that, I mean, there's a pretty dense tree canopy there already, so I don't know that taking one out's really gonna alter it. And I look at them too, like these old growth cedars are, you gotta spend a little more time thinking about taking one of those ones out if they're in good shape. As opposed to, there's a lot of these maples and hemlocks that we can replicate those a lot quicker, so.
Yeah. So did we get a motion on that?
I could present one. Motion to approve item 9 as submitted. Tree vegetation removal request 13 twin flower circle.
Do they need to do a replanting?
I don't think so. It looks pretty dense over there. Now, one of the other things that we don't ever, but I don't know if we see them. Diane, do we get approvals from the county and and our committee doesn't see them, or?
We sometimes get them and we put them in the file, but a
Okay,
lot of
so
times they come to us before they go to the county because they want to make sure you're going to approve it before they go through that hassle.
okay, so technically we're supposed to see it after the county, right? I mean, just because we approved it doesn't mean they can do it.
Correct. We tell them in the letter that they need to figure out if it's a tree that needs a county permit.
Okay.
This
All
one
right,
might, this one might fall into that category because they say the diameter is 70 inches.
Yes, I hope that's a typo.
Circumference, probably.
Otherwise, this tree would have a name.
Big Bob.
Yeah.
So there's a motion on the table.
By John.
By John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. And then item
11.
11, another tree.
Did you guys go look at this one?
No.
We did not. This was a late one. We didn't go to look at it, but the photos were pretty compelling.
Yeah.
Did you have any issues, Dan?
No, I don't. I mean, I know the area pretty well. It's just down the street from our house. And the houses are pretty compact in that area. I'm just looking at the picture on page 2 of 2, and it looks like there's a roof line, and then there's another house, and then there's a tree. The only concern that I would have, and they've got it marked on the property there, but it's just sort of a hand drawing, that make sure this tree isn't on the neighbor's property at all, or it's not some sort of a shared property line. That would be my only concern. And I don't know anything about the tree. It doesn't look terrible in this picture, but I could see where having that weird little curve on the hillside might be concerning. I don't know who Marty from High Tide Services is, but he apparently thinks it's in danger. So, so that would be my only question: is a picture like this and a note from that Marty from High Tide looked at it, and is it clearly on their property? That would be my only concern.
Yeah, that is a good point.
We could put that as a comment.
Yeah, I think that's probably appropriate here. So I guess that they would need to get a note from that it's on their property, or a note from the neighbor saying it's okay.
Yeah, how would we go about that? Could we approve it contingent on verification that it's on the neighbor's property? I mean, or verification that it's on their property? Is that the kind of thing that, an Allen position goes out and reviews, or is that not what it's
Most people don't want to pay to have a tree cut down, so they make sure it's on their property before they do it. I mean, most people. I don't know if this person's one of those, but they've clearly drawn it here, and he did bring it in, I believe, and I know he came and talked to me first and gave me that picture. Marty used to be with Rawls, and it's an offshoot, and he's been doing quite a bit of work through this tree Mageddon that we've had. That's all I can say about that. I can't vouch for him. I mean, you could ask for an arborist report.
I think my concern is more about whether it's on the neighbor's property or not. I found the photos compelling, but if anybody has an issue with that, I'm happy to have them do some report.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry.
John?
I was just going to say that if Sudden Valley's involved, Sudden Valley will go out and find the pins because it's our property that we're dealing with. But we don't go find pins for private homes. That becomes a neighbor conversation. And I guess you could ask him to consult with whoever owns Lot 9. Is that the property you're worried about? Lot 9?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not on their property. That would be my only concern on this one is that, we don't want to approve something and they're out there hacking away a tree that the neighbor says, oh my goodness, that's been my afternoon shade for the last 20 years. So,
Yeah, I think as long as we get a confirmation either that it is on their property or that the neighbor's okay with it, then we could approve this. But unless we get that, we can't approve it.
So you want to ask for a statement from Lot 9 that it's not on their property?
I think that would be good. That should do it.
Should we do 9
Or
and
that they don't care if it is cut.
Patrick?
should we do 9 and 10?
Probably.
For item 9?
For item 11, you want lots 9 and 10 to confirm.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
To confirm they're okay with removal of the tree.
I just want to, I think that those are good comments, and I think it's worthy of pushing this along and having them respond with our concerns about co-ownership. Reading their comment that looks like the roots were potentially damaged when the larger tree next to it fell on the 19th. And if you look at the picture on page 2, right down at the bottom, it looks like a large part of the bark and everything has been whacked off. And given this is a hemlock tree, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say I think this tree is not healthy and it is a danger. But having said that, I think getting the approval from Lot 9 and Lot 10 is a really good idea.
Lot 9 and Lot 10 is the same owner.
Oh, cool. Makes it easy.
Yeah. And I know that house and that owner, and they've got a very well landscaped, meticulous yard. So I think just to me, I will make a motion to approve item 11, pending verification from the neighbor, the owner of lot 9 and 10, that tree removal is not on their property and basically just not on their property. It's not on their
Or
property.
can we say that they agree with the removal of the tree?
Yeah, if they're okay with it and it is on the border, that's fine. As long as the neighbor is okay with it.
Well, I would say like what if it's not on the neighbor's property, then the neighbor doesn't get a say in the matter, do they?
Right.
Yeah. So I would say, Diane, that just verification from the neighbor that the tree is not on their property.
Okay, hold on. Okay. And are you okay with me calling them and asking them?
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
verification works. So.
I mean, I'll document it in writing, obviously, but
You're calling the person who submitted item 11.
no, I'd be calling the person who owns lot 9 and 10 and ask them if the tree is on their property.
Yeah, any kind of verification we get is fine, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
We just don't want to get ourselves in the middle of some neighbor controversy. So,
But the tree looks like it's bad, and if we don't approve it now, with that contingency that we get that it's on their property, then we're going to have to wait a month until we have another meeting to approve it.
Well, no, he's approving it pending.
Right,
the
that's what I'm
receipt.
saying, is
Yeah.
we need to do that to make sure that it's approved with that pending. Otherwise, they would have to wait a month before we can do it again.
Yeah.
and again, I'm not saying it is on the neighbor's property. It's just based on the drawings and the picture, it's a little unclear. So we just need to
We
get
have
that.
the question.
I think that's a great thing to verify. And Dan Vink, do you have the name of the neighbor on lot 9 and 10?
It is Mark and Carol Streicher, Streicher.
Thank you. So
Eugene
Diane,
probably knows them.
At least based on my app, which is usually pretty accurate, but not always.
so that gives Diane at least a name
Oh,
and
no, I can get it.
Diane
Don't
can
worry.
figure it out.
you can look. I know you can look it up. I just thought since Dan
Yeah.
had it open. Okay. So motion to approve with contingency that we get approval from the neighbor or confirmation from the neighbor that the tree is not on their property.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, unanimous. I think that puts us at the end of our agenda. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the end of our year of work.
Yes, this was our last meeting for the year. Diana, is there any indication that we'll have an influx of tree requests that might require us to meet again?
I don't know. It seems to be accelerating, but a lot of it is Sun Valley trees.
Okay.
I don't have anything for the next one yet. I'm double checking. Nope, I don't have anything for the January meeting yet.
And we, is it officially changed, the date, Diane,
No, no,
for January?
no. I need to speak to Joanne.
Okay, so should we, well, I guess we can tell the group what we're thinking about.
Right.
The meeting right now is scheduled for what, the
Second.
2nd of January, which is kind of an awkward date. So we're thinking about pushing it into the next week. And then that would be would that be a Zoom?
It'll be a Zoom.
A Zoom?
Yeah, because what happens is then you get on the same day as the board of directors, and so I just have to make sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's so at this point it's still scheduled for the 2nd, correct?
Correct.
But we
It's
will
not
probably
posted.
change it.
It's not posted yet because we haven't put the next year up yet.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on my to-do list, and that's why it's not done yet because I'm overrun with trees. But yes, at some point it'll be up there, and you can ask everybody, an email and all of that.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
sorry the trees are bumming you out, Diane. Just real quick, if we do keep the Thursday, January 2nd meeting, that means our Tuesday meeting is on New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
Right, that's one of
why
the
it's-
problems.
Yeah.
And it means that all the stuff is due right before Christmas, so
Yeah.
it just doesn't work.
So I'm surprised nobody noticed that until
Well, we
Diane
could
brought
do
it to my
the
attention.
visit on New Year's Eve and then go over to Joe Jean's for the Eve party.
Yeah, we'll all be drunk though.
So just looking at the calendar, there are actually 5 Thursdays in January coincidentally. So if we move to the 9th and then did the 9th and the 23rd, then we would be back on a regular schedule actually.
That'll be difficult because of the board of director meeting in the barn. So
Which
that's
is-
one of the things. Let me just work this out with Joanne, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. We just
When-
wanted to
when is
present
it?
all the problems.
Yep,
When is the
9th?
board of director meeting?
it's on the 2nd and 4th of each month. The 2nd and 4th Thursday of each month.
I gotcha.
And we're on the 1st and the 3rd.
Oh, I gotcha.
And it's fine with Zoom most of the time, but once you get into 2 people needing the meeting space in the barn, then it becomes, and needing the recording equipment and the microphones and everything, it becomes a problem.
And I would be the middle guy in the Venn diagram for the board of directors meeting and the ACC meeting.
When does the board meet?
The 2nd and the 4th Thursday.
And they meet in the
That's
evening.
7.
Correct.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
So
Sometimes
just
they change.
while we have our calendars out, I mean, you'll work this out with Joanne. If we move
And
to
then-
the 9th, then would we still meet on the 16th?
That was what Daniel had said, and that's a little hard for me. I was talking to Joel about that yesterday, Joel Carter, but we can have these conversations offline.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say I'd be happy to do the 9th and the 23rd and do the 23rd by Zoom also, if that's convenient.
That's
for-
an option. Yep.
Oh, that's true.
And we also have the new general manager who's starting as well. And so there's just some parts here. I know we want to get it planned, but we will.
Okay.
When does
All right. So
when does the new GM start?
The 10th
Of December?
December. Yes.
Oh. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
sorry, there's a lot going on.
Daniel, you're bringing Linda up at the next board of directors meeting.
That's correct. Yeah.
So Joe Jean, she can help you with the New Year's Eve party at your place.
Are we having a meeting on the 19th
Of this
Of
month?
No.
December?
of December?
No.
You voted not to do that a couple of agendas ago. I don't know if you might have missed the meeting, Joe Jean. I don't know.
She is older.
Why aren't we having one?
Too close to the holidays.
Oh, okay.
Too much going on.
And Alan, when do you start your position?
He's already started.
Already there.
Oh, all right. Good for him.
He showed us his badge a little while ago.
Oh, I guess I can see there. Are you in the office there?
Yeah.
Do you have a lake view?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Good place to come have coffee, sit and chat with Alan.
come on by.
Hey, Alan, could you please send your Sudden Valley email address to all of us, or just send an email to us
Sure.
from that address so we can kind of have that, please?
Sure.
And Alan, I guess you want to be involved in continue to be involved in our conversations and things on our email, right? Just
The position is still taking shape. It's forming. I'm trying to help Diane, Joel, and Max here
okay.
by taking things off their plate. And it's a walk before run kind of thing for me. So I'm taking the low-hanging fruit and helping out. But I'd still like to continue to participate and listen. And if something
Okay,
comes
so
up,
we'll
Yeah.
continue to keep you in the loop with our conversations and emails
Sure.
and things.
So I've seen you eating earlier, so you have taken something to the plate.
uh,
Are we ready to adjourn?
thank
Yeah,
you, Diane.
it sounds like.
Thank you
Okay,
all.
let's adjourn this meeting at 10 o'clock exactly.
10 o'clock.
Have a good Christmas season if we don't talk to you before then.